Hey, 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 it is Wednesday, which means we are live backstage. I am Cindy Rowe, and I have a wonderful guest with me today. We want to say, or I want to say, I'm sorry for starting late. My computer decided to restart about 10 minutes ago, and well, technology, we love it when we have it, but man, when it doesn't cooperate with us, it sure sucks. So we're going to get right to it. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good now.
It's always nerve-wracking in the beginning when crap like that happens.
It never fails. I always tell everybody, you know what, there's always something that's going to happen and we just roll with it because it's live and it's real life. So
Yep. Yep.
well, thank you so much for joining me. I did take a month off, the month of July off. So, those of you that are hopping back on with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Karen, will you tell everybody what it is, what kind of business you have?
So, yes. So I market clean crafted wine with Scout and Cellar. Um, it is wine that is produced without chemicals, pesticides, additives, no sugar added, just the residuals. I call it healthier for you wine.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes. So, how did you stumble across this company?
totally stumbled onto it. So I joined in June of 2020, right in the middle of COVID, um, when everything was shut down. And so I was putting together an online vendor event with my essential oils. And my daughter contacted me and said, "Hey, mom, I went to this really fun wine tasting recently. Do you want me to hook you up with the lady?" And I'm like, "It's wine. Of course I do." So during that is how I discovered what mass produced wine, what was lurking in mass produced wine. So, so I tasted the wine. Um, my husband and I tested. I did a white. My husband did a red. And when I say test, I drank my whole bottle of white that night because I had to be sure that there wasn't going to be anything that caused me trouble. So on my health journey that I've been on for many years, when I would drink white wine, I would wake up in the middle of the night, almost 4 hours after I fell asleep, with my heart racing.
Oh, wow.
And then I couldn't sleep very well for the rest of the night. And then I would just wake up feeling bad. So that's why I had to test it to be sure. And it did not happen. I slept through the night. I felt great the next day. And so I was fully on board at that time.
Yeah, that sounds, I never like to, let a bottle go unfinished myself.
No, I when people ask about a wine stopper, I'm like, what's that used for?
I love it. I love it. So, with this company, kind of describe a little bit about um, how it works as you said you market it. So, as a consultant, is that what you are? Or,
Yes, yes, I'm an independent consultant, and we host in-home complimentary wine tastings where people invite their friends. I bring the wine. We have a little tasting party, and then people order directly through my website. I don't carry any inventory. I don't have to make deliveries or anything because it's alcohol. It's a little bit different than like a Tupperware party or something where you haul everything around. Um, and it's usually in at their home on their doorstep within about 2 weeks. So yeah, and it's real simple. They just go right to my website, from the tasting parties, and they're always fun parties, tasting
yeah.
parties.
Well, anytime you have wine, you're going to have a good time.
Right, right, exactly.
So, it sounds like it's a direct sales company. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are direct to the consumer. Hmm.
That's great. So I actually started in direct sales years ago, which I was able to get out of corporate America because of direct sales, and so I know the value and of being part of something like that. Tell me and tell the viewers a little bit about some of the throwbacks that maybe people have when they hear that the wine is from a direct sales.
I haven't really run across a lot of people that don't think it's worth doing. Um, there's a little hesitation from some in the beginning, but it's just like a job that you would hold. I mean, except that you're working for yourself, you're going out and finding new customers, and so it's very hard work, but it's very rewarding work.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's wine, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. But also with it being a clean crafted wine, not many people know what that is. So there's a little bit of education in it too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and honestly, when you were describing it, my first thought was, well, does it taste good? Obviously, it does. You
Obviously,
finished the whole bottle.
it does, because there's no, it's a better tasting wine also because there aren't any chemicals or additives used in the winemaking process. So you really taste the grapes. You really
Yeah,
taste the wine, and not, I try not to drink mass produced wines any longer. I mean, my husband and I take them to restaurants and, into movie theaters and all kinds of places. But it's just a better tasting wine because they don't have that. There's no junk in it.
right. Yeah. So, what is if somebody was looking to join a direct sales company? And you said it's very similar to it is having your own business. You have your own business. What kind of traits or tips would you give? Like, I guess one. No, this is a two-part question. What is one trait you think every person should have if they're considering going into a direct sales business? I'll ask that first.
I would say, I mean, anybody can do it. It just takes commitment. So I would say probably consistency. A person that, understands to be consistent, and just, doing one or two things a day, or consistently doing it,
Yeah.
moves you towards your goal that way.
That's a great answer. Any small business owner, regardless if it's direct sales or something that I own, or another small business owner, consistency is like one of the top things if you want success. So
Right, right.
you have to stick with it, and you have to, as you said, take it seriously too. This is a job. So this is, as long as you're consistent and take it seriously, you'll see success. My second question, um, because I didn't want to overwhelm you, because
Thank you.
sometimes I'm just like, my second question is, what kind of tips would you give somebody when they're looking for an alternative extra income, like for direct sales? Like,
I always tell people, look for what you have a passion for.
mhm,
I mean, if they say if you love what you do, you don't feel like you're working, and it's totally true. I don't think people can go into a direct selling company and not have a passion for it and make it work.
mhm,
So I always tell people, find it. It doesn't have to be clean crafted wine. It could be nails, whatever. Just what you have a passion for is you're gonna be successful that way.
Yep, I agree, and that is why I didn't stick with the one I was with. I I had success for a while, but then to keep leveling up, and that's really. while you get in it, you get, the income is nice, and you're like, all right, well, I want to get to the next level. I want to help other people get to the next level. And I got to a point where I'm like, I don't even care about the product. Like this, I can't do this anymore because I'm actually doing a disservice to
Exactly.
the people that I'm bringing in, and it just didn't make business sense for me to
And
continue. But
and people see that too. They
yep.
see that passion or that lack of passion.
Hmm. Yes,
Totally.
I agree. So you said that you also do oils, or you used to do oils before COVID, or do you
No, I still do
do?
both. I still do both because my husband and I, we're not 100% all the time, but we try to live healthy, a healthy lifestyle, organic foods, grass-fed meats, non-toxic products, the hair care, the skin care, all the clean stuff to avoid, hopefully to avoid any kind of illnesses down the road, just to
Right.
and to keep the earth better.
Yeah, yeah. So along the way in your journey, what are some of the lessons that you've learned?
Oh wow. Lessons that I've learned. Well, um, consistency was number one because I wasn't consistent in the beginning. And doing one or two things every day. Um, so I would say the consistency for me, to just make sure that I'm out there doing what I need to do to grow myself as an individual, um, to help me learn how to help other people.
Yeah. So with that, learning as you go and learning how to um, make things work in your schedule and your life. What has been the number one thing I think that has helped you have that success to get to the consistency? Like, is it, you know, having support? Is it, just making sure it's on your calendar? Like,
Mm.
what got you to be consistent? Because I mean, we can wake up and say, "Yeah, I'm going to do it today," and then laundry and life and dogs and
Yeah,
whatnot find their way.
yeah,
So
yeah. I totally agree. It's so easy when you have a home-based business to, I can do that tomorrow, or whatever. But I have learned to have calendar integrity. So everything that I need to do on any certain day or any certain time or whatever goes onto my calendar on my phone.
mhm,
And I 100% make sure I do that without any kind of excuse. Now, important things go on there, unimportant things sometimes get on there and sometimes don't. And then it's just like, so I always try to make sure that I do everything on my calendar every day and not look for what to do tomorrow on tomorrow's calendar, if that makes sense. So I
mhm.
stick with my calendar and we call it calendar integrity.
Yeah. So I use both a cell phone calendar and a paper calendar. And I feel like when I write it down, it like helps me remember things better. But then I put really important things, usually family things, on my phone calendar so that I get a reminder on it. But
Right,
have
right.
you ever used a paper calendar?
You know, I tried in the beginning to use a paper calendar, but and like you said, try to use the phone for more important things and a paper for other, but I find they weren't connected.
Hmm.
So I have to put everything on my cell phone calendar. And I have forgotten on a few occasions, and I end up double booking myself for things. So that causes problems. But I try to get everything on just my cell phone. So I'm
Yeah,
not moving back and forth between different things.
yeah. So how do you find, besides the home parties or whatever, what's been the most successful marketing strategy that you've seen within your business?
Um, Probably being on social media on a regular basis. Um,
Consistency.
Consistency, yeah, that's big. Um, so that helps me to grow my business. I'm still learning to be consistent on social media too. I haven't dipped my toe into reels yet. It scares the heck out of me, but I know so many people that find great success doing that. But I don't know if I'm the kind of person that even wants to
Yeah,
get on board with that. I mean, I have found success just by, reaching out personally to people.
yeah. I I agree with that too. So especially if you know they're wine lovers, that's a easy door to open and say, hey, you know, have you tried or whatever.
Right.
Um, with the social media, so um, you've you mentioned earlier before we went live that you had a Facebook group. Have you found it beneficial and easy to grow the Facebook group, or is that a challenge for you? Like, because I feel like, especially with the direct sales, that is a very common way to get your customers or potential customers right on the same page, right? And within a
Right.
group and start that community. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I think it's beneficial also for several different types of small businesses or entrepreneurs. So just kind of give me a little feedback on that.
Well, again, I'm going to talk about consistency. So I don't feel like my Facebook group helps me to grow my business because it's limited by what Facebook wants to show the people. And I've tried, going live in the group, or my husband and I doing tastings, in the group. But we've never seen a lot of growth by the Facebook group.
Gotcha. So, and I think this might be something that other business owners run into too is they believe that, oh, I'll just do the Facebook group and then people will see my stuff because
Oh,
uh, on your personal page or on your Facebook business page, it really does take um, a lot of work to get that organic reach. Where in the group, it's a little bit different, right? You've got the people that really want to learn and hear from you in that group, but it takes work. It takes a lot of posting and a lot of building that rapport and community. And I think that's where the miss, I think, where you know the small businesses or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs or direct salespeople like that, they get they miss that, right? Like, oh, okay, it's not that easy.
right,
I still have to do stuff in here. I can't just post and then I'm going to get a sale. And
right,
it's really,
exactly.
you now have that group of focused people, but now you have to, you know, really work hard at getting them the information that they want. So
Right, right. Giving
I,
them the value for it.
yeah, so I really appreciate you being honest about how it has not, you know, um, gotten you where you wanted to be, right, when you started the group. Because I think the thought is that, hey, if I start a group, then I'm going to grow my business and it's going to be really
Right,
easy. Well, no, it still takes a lot of work because it's still social
right,
media.
right. And a lot of people think that, well, I'm just going to post this and then, like you said, then I'll get a sale. But it's not.
Um,
It takes a lot more than just the posting.
yeah. Yep. So I really appreciate your honesty on that one because it does, social media takes a lot of work. And I know you just mentioned Reels, so I'm going to put a plug in. So keep your eye out because I'm going to be doing a training.
Oh, good.
I gotta set up the date. I've got to commit to it. My intern and I were working on the the agenda, the format of it, but it's all going to be on Instagram Reels. And because I
Oh,
think there's a
good.
lot of people in your boat too that I don't know if I want to do. I don't know if it's for
Right,
me, but I know other people have success. So this will be
right.
a great thing. So keep your eye out on that
Good, good.
one.
I look forward to it.
I want to know a success that you've had. If you could share with me a really cool story of a success that you've had in your business.
Um, I have just recently in the last few months, probably towards the beginning of the year, joined some events. Um, I live in Cherry Valley, so there's a new event space in our downtown area called the Bricks.
Yes.
So I started, my husband and I both started attending that, and they do it once a month on a Thursday evening. And I've gotten so many people that want to do tastings that way, just by having a table at the event as one of the vendors and just talking to people. You know, here, we do complimentary in-home wine tastings, and I've never found that success of reaching out to people that want to host tastings as much as those kind of events that I've been starting to do more and more of.
That's wonderful. And it's scary to try something new. I think as all of us know, and
Right.
put yourself out there, make your vulnerable a little bit. And um, so yeah, that's awesome that you've had some success. I appreciate that. What about
Yeah.
a failure?
A failure?
Yes,
Oh my
we've all
goodness.
had them.
That's hard. Well, I would probably say my biggest failure, and I don't know if it's a failure. I mean, you don't grow unless you fail, you know.
Exactly.
So reaching out to friends and family have been the most difficult. You know, I've found better success with strangers where friends and family are like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They seem to be the hardest to reach. And like I said, I don't know if that's a failure. It's just harder.
Yeah. Nope, I agree with you. When I was in direct sales, the same thing. It was your close family and friends that were the most hesitant. And even
Yeah.
now, with my businesses, I I have that same struggle. I started a um, kindness apparel line, and I can't tell you that I've had but just one friend that has purchased from me. And it's like you said, it's not really a failure, but it is. It's funny that you get more support um, from strangers or people that you've never met
Right, right,
when you're running a business. So
right,
it's not just with direct sales because I'm learning that as well.
right. And it's the strangest thing to me. I mean, you would think that your close friends and family would want to support you, but I'm finding that's not the case. But
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is what it is. We will have success with or without them, and
exactly.
we'll do what we need to do to get where we want to go for sure.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. So we are at the point of the show where it is your turn to tell people how they can find you, how they can set up a tasting, or whatever else you want to do to promote yourself. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe that half hour is over.
Goes by fast, even with technical difficulties.
It does. It does. So you can reach me on Facebook. Karen Boma Rust is my handle. I'm on Instagram too, as it's me, Karen Rust. And my website, where you can order directly through, is what's going across the banner now, Scout and Cellar, scoutandcellar.com
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll fix that
forward,
real quick.
yeah, / Karen Rust.
I have it .com afterwards. See, this was all the part of technical difficulties.
Yep,
Cindy knows
totally
better.
fine. So yeah, so you can go out to my website, learn more about Clean Crafted, or place an order. All of our wines, and not only do we have wines, we've got cans of wine, bottles of wine. We've got balsamic vinegars and olive oils, all of it clean crafted. Excuse me, in October, we're coming out with coffee, clean crafted coffee. So we're going to be clean crafted from morning to night.
I love that.
Yeah. So, or just reach out to me through Facebook, through Instant Messenger. And if you have questions about in-home wine tastings, or you want to book an in-home wine tasting.
Great. What's your favorite wine product that you offer?
Oh my goodness, all of them.
You can't say that. You have to have a favorite.
I do. Probably my favorite is our Dove Hunt Dog label, Sauvignon Blanc. So that one, I believe in 2021, Sarah, the owner, the founder, entered 4 different wine labels in the San Francisco wine tasting, and that one won the gold medal.
Oh, awesome.
So it's a really good one, and that's probably my favorite.
So do you have all sorts of different types of whites and reds, or?
Oh yeah, many different varietals, and we get our wines from all over the world. So we have Italian wines, we have Spanish wines, we have Australian wines, and a lot of them from California and Oregon, and here in the U.S.
That's great.
So yeah, all different kinds. I'll bet there's probably, oh gosh, I don't even know how many different varieties there are. I would say close to 50.
Wow.
On the website.
That's awesome. Do you have any sparkling?
We do.
Now
My favorite label for sparkling is the Tickle Bumps label. And the story behind Tickle Bumps is when Sarah's daughter was in a stroller and they would go over, at the corner, they have those little bumpy things going out into the street. Dagny would race her hands in her stroller and say, "Mommy, over the tickle bumps, over the tickle bumps." Because the vibration of the stroller made it feel like she was being tickled.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite labels, the story.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of different stories behind the wines, which you could share during your private tastings and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have one more question about your wines is, the price point, right? Is there a wide variety for those that are more, budget conscious versus the ones that are just like, I want the best bottle of wine you got type of thing? Or can you tell us about that?
Yep, the price points, they start at $16 and go all the way up to $72. We also have a club that people can join that they can choose how many bottles they want, whether they're red or white, and how often they can receive those, monthly, every other month, once a quarter, however often. And that is the one, our club is consistent pricing, no matter what wines are chosen that month for it.
Oh, so you have like a wine of the month?
No, well, I mean, it's a club, and Sarah picks out the wines that go into the box that month.
Okay.
But the consumer can choose red or white, or how many bottles of those. And the pricing never changes on those. I know I used to belong to other wine clubs, and depending on what they had that month, the price would change.
Right. Okay.
So
Well,
yeah,
good to know. Very good to know. It has been a pleasure getting to learn more about what you do and a little bit more about you. Stay consistent.
yeah, for sure.
That's
Thank
what
you so much.
your nickname's going to be for me is consistency.
Thanks so
Consistent
much
Karen.
for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, well, thank you again, and we will be back next week with another guest. So please come back and see us then. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Bye, Cindy. Thank you.